Jay stressed a lot of important aspects for living a great life, and definitely one of the biggest is pushing your limits and knowing that kind of human nature is going to tell you that you don't want to do certain things, you don't have to do certain things, uh, but realizing when you hear yourself telling yourself those things, that it's time to kind of push on and do great things, and kind of in the same realm of what you're talking about, the Niagara, I think it was couple years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. I kind of heard Jay's voice in the back of my head, and I try to do something. I call it great. It's a uh, general term, but I try to do something great every summer. And I had a coach who was doing some hiking with Steve and Neil. They were hiking a lot, and he came back. This coach was a real good wrestler in his time, and a real good coach. And he came back to my office one day and he said, "Wow, man, I did we did a crazy hike today, and I'm beaten up by it." And I kind of looked at him. I said, "Hey, coach, you're a wrestler, like you just did a walk. That's what that was. It wasn't anything crazy." And so he he argued with me a little bit about how tough it was and that I probably wouldn't have been able to do it, and some big steps, and joked about my little legs and stuff, and so I set out. I heard Jay's voice in the back of my head, and I said, "You know what? Uh, we're going to climb the biggest thing we can around here." And so we started looking online, and I can't stand hiking. I can't stand
Yeah.
uh, walking or hiking. If I do something, I want to be like running full speed. If I get on a treadmill, by the end of it, I'm at like level 10, and the ramp is up, and trying to kill myself. So I looked for I didn't know anything about mountains or anything around here, and so we found Mount Whitney,
There you
and
go.
yeah, we put in for a lottery, and we ended up getting it. This 2 years ago, and I told all my coaches who's with me, and that one particular coach, he didn't end up going, but I had two other coaches, Zach Shanneman and Seth Brad, two of my pretty tough coaches. These guys are fit, and we didn't really train for it or anything, and I didn't know what I was getting into. I had a lot of people telling me, it's going to be tough, and the breathing, and you have to buy all this stuff, and I just kind of did my daily workouts, and we ended up going, and we showed up for the thing, and my two coaches had like thousands of dollars of gear on them, and like a pickaxe. One of them had a pickaxe, and they had these lights for their heads, and I showed up in running shoes, like old running shoes, and some my wrestling shorts and a t-shirt, and my actual backpack that I wear, for like holding
Yeah.
books and stuff. And had a bottle of water and a granola bar,
There you
and
go. Just wait. You had one bottle of water and just one granola
yeah,
bar.
yeah, that's it. And so we
Did you
got
not
there.
do any research about this? You just showed
I
up.
did, but I was kind of like, I do fasting anyway. I don't really
Yeah.
eat till the evening, so I'm like, we'll go 10 hours and I'll be fine. I won't have to eat or anything. I'll get some water in me, and yeah. So we started at like 1 or 2 a.m. It was pitch dark out, and I mean, long story short, we made it up and back in one day. Um, People were kind of passing me, like looking at me, like, "What the heck? Like this guy, what does he do? Is this a joke or something?" But one of the hardest things I ever did in my life. I'm not gonna lie. It was very difficult, but it was one of those moments where I could hear Jay saying, do hard things, and um, on a daily basis, and that's one of our mantras with our program is, especially in this day and age, uh, kids need to do difficult things and be put in uncomfortable positions on a daily basis, to grow and to be ready for the real world once they get out of high school and college.
Yeah. Because I mean, climbing Mount Whitney is tough, right? But to put in retrospect, like losing a family member or having to overcome something like that kind of magnitude, it's like
Right.
that whole classic line, once you wrestle, everything is easy. It's like
Right.
might not necessarily be easy, but it's definitely maybe a little bit easier because you've
Yeah,
just trained your mind to deal with hard things.
absolutely. Absolutely. And that's, that's what makes wrestling so great, I think, as a sport is because it's hard. And people don't realize how hard it is, especially at the level that we coach at. It's very difficult in a lot of different ways. That nothing against. I always say nothing against other sports. I'm sure they're great. I don't know what they do or how they go, but I just know wrestling. Um, just being in the sport of wrestling, it's a quote unquote fight every single day. It looks like a fight, it feels like a fight, and then mentally it's a fight as well, and that's what life is. And so I think it's kind of the closest microcosm of life that you can get, in a sport or an activity.